Hello again. This portion of our course will talk about coefficients and the product rule. So let's first review what do we mean by a coefficient. A coefficient is a number or a constant that is multiplied by a variable term in an expression. So here's an example. We have 7x exponent 4. The variable x is raised to the exponent 4, and then it is multiplied by the number 7. The number 7 is called the coefficient. And so we're going to do a couple of examples just to see how do we deal when we have to have multiplication with coefficients. So here's our first example. 2 times n exponent 4. We could do expanded form, but by now we're really going to move to product rule because it's a lot more efficient. So just like we did the previous session, we realized this is exponent 1, this is exponent 4. We would add the exponents for our variable n, and the 2 is simply there. It doesn't change because 2 multiplies whatever happens to our variable. So we would do this: 2 multiplied by a variable n to the exponent 1 plus 4, or 2 multiplied by n exponent 5. Let's look at this example. This one is a bit more interesting. We have 7 multiplied by by y exponent 8, and that multiplied by 4 exponent y squared. Notice that we are using the brackets or the parentheses to mean multiplication. Uh, and we do this because the brackets imply that the 7 and the 4 are part of that product of that multiplication. And let's go to our product rule form and take a look at what happens here. This is the interesting example. Uh, let's talk about our variable first. The variable is y, and by our product rule, we know that we can add the two exponents. So we would have y exponent a plus 2. But what happens with the coefficients? Well, the coefficients really are just numbers, and we're very used to dealing with numbers. So in this case, we would just multiply 7 times 4. And we multiply, of course, by a variable, and at the end we end up with something like this: 7 multiplied by 4 multiplied by y to the exponent 10, 8 plus 2, or 28y exponent 10. And our final example here is this: negative 10 x squared multiplied by 2x exponent 4. So we directly go to our power rule, and we can see our variable x we will add the exponents 2 plus 4. So x will be to the exponent 6. And then we will multiply the coefficients. So in other words, we're multiplying negative 10 times 2. And negative 10 times 2 is negative 20. So our final answer would be negative 20x exponent 6. So here is the key idea. When coefficients are part of the products of the monomials that were being multiplied, you multiply the coefficients together and use the product rule to simplify the powers that have the same base, just like we did here. Now we have a very cool interactive activity for consolidation purposes, and this does two things. So we're going to have fun with this. Let me tell you a little bit how it works. We'll do the first example together, and then we want you to complete 3 or 4 of these puzzles. So here's the question: which expressions are equivalent? So the instruction is to complete the puzzle by clicking on the puzzle pieces that contain equivalent expressions. So I want to give you a little hint. Our puzzle shape is green. I have 2 blue pieces that would fit here and 2 yellow pieces that might fit here. So we have to add 2 more pieces to complete the puzzle. So let's begin by looking at which of the yellow would be equivalent to what we have here. And if we look at it and apply our product rule, we can see, say, the variable a, we have a squared multiplied by a cubed. If we add the 2 exponents, 2, and 3, we ended up with a to the power of 5. And y here is squared, or exponent 2, and here exponent 1. So when we add them, we have y cubed. So our answer would be a exponent 5 y cubed, not this one, but this one. And when I click on it, it brings it to my puzzle. Cool. But wait, I'm just still have to do the blue piece. Here is the interesting part. What we're going to do here is a little next step. We are going to evaluate. And this is what we mean by evaluate. Look at the variable, actually is really more a parameter, a. And what we're saying here is this. We're going to evaluate this expression, a exponent 5 y cubed, when a equals 2. And let's see if we get this answer or we get this answer. So let's do this one together. So if in a exponent 5 y cubed, the a, instead of having the uh, perimeter a, had the value of 2, that means it will have 2 exponent 5, which means 2 multiplied by itself 5 times. And if we figure that out, that would be 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16 times 2, 32. That would be 5 times. So in other words, instead of having a exponent 5, we would have 32. And y cubed stays the same. So it looks as though this is our right piece. 10 wouldn't work because 2 to the exponent 5 is not 10. That would be 2 times 5, and we know exponent is 2 multiplied by itself 5 times, not 2 multiplied by 5, which this kind of is a bit of a trick question. We'll choose this, and that's our puzzle. And then we have to check how we did. Let's do that. And we got it correct. So have fun with this puzzle, play with it, do a few more, 5 or 6. And if you have any questions, this is a perfect opportunity to put a note, ask your teacher, make sure you understood this. See you later.